What's up, disc golfers? Joe here with Joe's Disc Golf, and yeah, the podcast is a little late. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. Kind of lost my voice on Monday, so I couldn't go live. Tuesday ended up being kind of a crap show, to say the least, and here we are, Wednesday morning, bright and early for me, trying to record this to get this out to you. And here we go. We got a lot to talk about here. We got the Disc Golf Pro Tour schedule. We got USDGC coming up here. And we got some people who qualified. And, of course, we have to talk about Kona, Star, Montgomery. Because if you've been living under a rock, you didn't hear the news. But we're wishing her all the best. She's still alive. I made that sound like she died. She did not die. She's still alive. But I guess it's time to now get into it. I want to thank our sponsors here. We've got two. First off, longtime sponsor Log. What rolls downstairs alone or in pairs rolls over your neighbor's dog? What's great for a snack and it fits on your back? It's Log, Log, Log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's better than bad. It's good. Everyone wants a log. You're going to love it, Log. Come on and get your log. Log from Blammo. And hashtag not a real sponsor. On top of that, we also have a real sponsor in the way of Coffee Brand Coffee, where you can get all of your coffee, tea, and cocoa to come and just pep up your day. They have some velvety, delicious hot chocolate. And if hot chocolate isn't your thing, they also have some tea. They have a green tea with extra caffeine, gunpowder green tea, which will get you up and moving and grooving. But of course, for all of you lovely coffee drinkers out there like myself who have been enjoying the medium roast, and on top of that, the spiked jack-o'-lantern. Oh, so delicious. So yummy. Over 4,000 reviews. 5 stars. So good. So yummy. I drink it a lot. That's how I have all this energy bright and early on a Wednesday morning. Woo! Here we go. Woo! Okay, so you can also check out Coffee Brand Coffee in the link in the description below. That counts for both podcasts and YouTube and wherever else you are watching this. Maybe this is on the sneaker net in Cuba. Who knows? Maybe Joe's Disc Golf has made it to there. You know you've made it when people are illegally pirating your show, transporting it via USB into a ravaged country like that. Yeah, don't know where I was going with that one. It's too early and I've had too much caffeine. So let's get into the hot takes, probably because, I don't know, Disc Golf Pro Tour just released their schedule. There's some good, there's some bad, and there's a hell of a lot of just business as usual. So why don't we get into it? For those of you watching on video, you can see that the map, here it is. It is the pretty much Midwest East Coast tour with a sprinkling of a few events on the West Coast. Notably, on the West Coast, Axed, no longer here. He gone. LVC, no longer there. Which apparently was a surprise to them. They put out a statement here on Facebook that I will read to you right now. We are incredibly disheartened to learn that the Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova will no longer be an elite PDGA Disc Golf Pro Tour event for the 2024 season. Team LVC will continue to run our event like a major event, as we have always done. Over the last 24 years, LVC has grown to be one of the best ran and well-known tournaments, disc golf events accommodating numerous divisions across the board. Our goals have not wavered, and despite this shocking blow to the LVC team, we have the support of the local and national sponsors, including Innova Champion Discs, and we are working to make the 25th anniversary event planned for the 2024 season a beacon event. Innova Champion Discs, our title sponsor, has committed to the same level of support and involvement in the event. Together, we will strive to bring the media coverage for those that cannot enjoy the amazing disc golf that Wild Horse Golf Course offers in person. Gonna stop there. Nobody's gonna watch it. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. LVC is going on at the same time as the new tournament, the poorly named Florida Open. Yep. Just give that a moment to sink in. Like, okay, it's at Throwdown the Mountain that McCease owns. It's a great property. I have no issues with the property. I have issues with the terrible name. Terrible. That's just terrible. Because let's be honest here. Florida Open? Come on, guys. You couldn't get a little more creative than that? What was left on the floor? Okay, was it like the Tallywhacker zipper? You know, was it something like that where you're like, oh God, oh no, we can't call it that. Florida Open. Could be the Florida Closed, could be the Florida Hurricane. I don't know, just come up with something better than that. They're not the only ones to have a lazy name. I get it. If this was a shock to the people running LVC, that's pretty bad. That is horrible. If all of a sudden the Disc Golf Pro Tour is just like, hey, now we're going to Florida, and the first they hear about that is during this announcement, that's pretty terrible. That is really bad. I am not saying that the Pro Tour can't drop tournaments, add tournaments, rearrange tournaments, do whatever like that. No, go for it. Be my guest. There are tournaments on there. The Memorial was one of them. That was the tour outgrew it. I'll say it that way. The tour outgrew it. Challenge at Goat Hill, De La Viega, the touring pros outgrew those venues. I get it. I totally get it. But if you're not telling them right off the bat, like, hey, we're going in a different direction, and you just ghost them like so many people have on Tinder or Bumble or whatever other dating apps are out there now, have been happily married for a long time now, so I don't know what the kids are using these days to hook up. That is really terrible. That's a dick move there. It's a dick move, bro. Dick move. So I really hope that, yeah. I hope that wasn't the case. Now, I do kind of support this decision. I've never been one to really love LVC. I've loved the first tournament because that's a nice long break that we have. Well, it seems to be getting shorter and shorter because next year, the last tournament will be like, we'll finish on November 2nd or 3rd. I forget how those dates work out, with Champions Cup starting on October 31st. And then all of a sudden you've got middle of February and presumably the Florida Open in 2025. Like, not a long break there. Not a very long break. Where before it was a nice, decent break. You had a couple months. Early October, everything was done. Everybody's not coming back till the end of February. And hey, cool, bueno. Everybody's excited for that first tournament. And it doesn't necessarily matter what that first tournament is. Everybody's going to be like, woo, disc golf, we're back. We're here and ready to, my computer fell asleep. We're here and ready to go. I got my notes right here. But that's kind of unfortunate. So if you're in Las Vegas, if you're signed up for LVC Open, that's great. That's awesome. You should do it. The only notable pro that I saw in the comments at the time of recording and writing my notes, only Jennifer Allen said that she was disappointed that it was gone and that she will be there. Probably because, Innova Touring Pro, blah-de-blah-de-blah. But then you're missing the first tournament of the year, which is in Florida. Florida. Which we go from Florida to Waco, which is a DGPT Plus event, which I guess let's wind the gears back here. Let's talk about the point structure that has changed. The points for 2024, DGPT, your baseline points, 100 points, 100. Nothing new there. No more silver events. We've got no more silver events. Thank God, they're a waste of space. I'm sorry if you've run a silver event, if you played a silver event, but generally speaking, the fields were weak and pathetic and not totally worth watching. I watched smatterings here and there, but nothing consistent. Nothing that made sense to do because, whatever. I was excited a couple years ago when Clash at the Canyons was a silver event because I played the course. I've played the tournament, not obviously the tour level tournament. I'm not that good. But I got to see it and go, okay, so that's what it's like to execute that shot. Oh, I know how long that hole is. And I know that like birdie is amazing for me. I'm ecstatic if I get a birdie. And they're like, oh yeah, birdie, whatever. You know, I throw 500 feet. It's not a big deal. 700-foot hole, whatever. So I get that. That was nice. We've got the DGPT Plus events. There are 4 of those this year. Those are worth 125 points. Ooh, spicy. Worth a little bit less than last year, where this year, I guess, currently, as we were talking about it, those are worth 150 points along with the playoffs, along with the majors. Now we've got the playoffs worth 150 points still, and majors are worth 200 points. 200 points! That is pretty outstanding there. So it just goes to show you that the level of play that we can see, or that we expect to see at a major, is increasing, and the points are showing that this is a much harder thing to win, and it is more impressive to win. Now, there's no word on how many tournaments count, how many you can drop. Things like that weren't totally mentioned yet. Those will be coming out. I would assume that it is going to be a very similar thing as to this year. Maybe a few more elite events count. I don't know, because right now it's your top 8 elite, top 3 silver, and then you've got the playoffs and majors don't drop. I could see something in an ideal world. I believe there's 18 tour stops. So taking same thing, top 8, 9, depending on how that goes, see what the line is. Maybe there is some talk among the tour card holders saying like, how many do you guys plan on playing? So we can figure out what a good line is. Is it going to be your top 8 again? Would it be 11 total tournaments like it was before with your 3 silvers and 8 elites? Are you going to be able to drop? I'd probably not drop the playoffs, although playoffs, totally pointless. I don't understand. Does not make sense to me. The playoffs meant nothing in their current format. Maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't. And then you've got majors. Maybe you say like, hey, top 3 out of 4 count, giving people a chance to skip a major. Most likely European Open, but you never know. Looking at this schedule, we can also see that the back half of the season, back third of the season, is jam-packed. This is how you end your season. You've got Ledgestone. Well, here, let's start here. You've got European Open at the end of July. You've got Ledgestone, which is a DGPT Plus, first weekend in August. Idlewild, then you've got Worlds at the end of August. You got D-Glow, which is a DGPT Plus event. Too many DBDs there. Then you've got the 2 playoffs events of GMC and MVP. Then you've got USDGC. Then you've got the Pro Tour Championship. And then you've got Champions Cup. Which, why? We need to change that. We need to petition the PDGA to change the timing of that. There's still time in April. There's still plenty of time. We can find another course to do that, because good gracious, the end of the season is what matters. And aside from USWDGC and the Florida Open, only because it's the first event, everybody's going to be excited to see the first event and see what McCease has done to that course. Okay, so you've got that event, you've got USWDGC, and then you got jack shit until August. Let's be honest here. Okay, you got the European Open at the end of July. And that's it. You've got 1 FPO major, and then you've got 4 MPO majors and 3.5 FPO majors. Throw Pink, love you. And then you got that. So, like, I get, it's just frustrating, to say the least. It is absolutely frustrating the way this is. Now, I totally get why LVC was cut from the first tournament. They're trying to make the drive make more sense. And so they're starting in Florida. And we've got, even before that, we've got the All-Star Weekend, which has moved from Arizona to Florida, to Orlando. So these guys can like, I'm going to Disney World. They're playing in Orlando somewhere. Who knows where they're playing? Nothing has been announced totally yet. That's exciting. That is really exciting to see. So they're going from Orlando to Brookfield. It looks like a short drive. I'm not familiar with the location of these courses here. So you've got that. You've got then they go over to Texas, where they spend a lot of time there. I know people have been complaining that there are so many tournaments in Texas. I don't mind as long as they're good. The Austin Open, or the Open at Austin, sorry, makes sense because that happens right around South by Southwest. Huge crowds. I get it. Waco, we'll see how this goes because now they're at 2 courses. They've outgrown the property that they've been using. So they're at 2 courses, trying to change things up. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see how this goes. It's a DGPT Plus event as well. And from there, we'll see how this goes. Texas States has been on and off again. Now it's in Houston, I believe, or roughly Houston. It's a huge, huge area. And Texas is a massive state. So we'll see how this turns out. Densely populated area, should be pretty popular with disc golf. We'll see how this all turns out. From there, you go all that. You got Jonesboro, then you go over to Tennessee for Music City, DDO. Then you jump over to the West Coast, which, to be fair, there were 3 events there this year. DGPT Elite events on top of the 3 silver events that people played because they were there. Now, a lot of people are going to be skipping the West Coast. That is a long drive for 3 tournaments. And honestly, I mean, you're going to OTB, and then you've got a heck of a drive from central-ish California to Oregon with Portland and Beaver State Fling. We'll see how many people go to that. I'm not totally sure. Who knows? We'll see how this all plays out. Obviously, nobody has put out their schedule yet other than the DGPT. They're talking about that this is the North America branch, so that heavily implies that there will be a European-ish branch of that, whether that is full DGPT events. That's yet to be determined. Are the silver events, the silvers going over to Europe? We'll see. On top of that, they talked about adding tour card qualifications because as it stands right now, it is getting harder and harder to be able to get into a Pro Tour event, to be able to get Pro Tour points, to be able to get your tour card. Okay? That's getting harder, and it's damn near possible at this point. So how are we going to get fresh blood onto the tour if the only way to get tour points is to play on tour, but the only way to play on tour is to have your tour card, but you need tour points to get your tour card, and so on and so forth. I know there are ways that not all tournaments fill up. They've got a few open spots, blah, 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 blah. I get it. Okay. I hear you in the comments already. I got it. But now there's going to be a qualifying series that is going to be some kind of combination of A tiers. Don't know if that's going to be nationwide, regional, just any A tier. I know there was a call a couple months ago for tournaments. If you run an A tier to like, hey, if you want to do this to try to, be a qualifier to get these tour qualifier points that don't count towards tour points. So yes, you could get a Jen Allen or something that would play Las Vegas Challenge. Maybe that is a tour qualifying, but she would not be eligible to get points because she already has her tour card, and there's no issue with that. I don't know. There's still a lot of details that are out right now that we have yet to discover and that they've yet to publish. So we'll see how this all turns out. Moving on from that, USDGC and Throw Pink qualifiers just happened the other day. Qualifying. Who got in? Well, on USDGC side, we've got John Blackburn, Luke Callahan, Zach Melton, Nathaniel Johnson, and Randon Latta. Congratulations to you, gentlemen. You have qualified for USDGC. I was kind of surprised that Zach Melton hadn't qualified before, but I'm glad to see that he got in there now. On the Throw Pink side, we have Sandra Richardson and Cynthia Ricciardi. Congratulations. Woo! Good job there. And I wish I could say the gimmicks are gone, but the gimmicks are back. Gone are the mozzarella sticks. Back are crappy looking artificial Christmas trees with the metal poles showing. Why? I'm sick of the gimmicks. And I know other people have said, well, everybody tunes in. Well, yeah, it's a major. And if it wasn't a major, I don't think as many people would watch, to be completely honest. Now, somebody had said, why not just put some planks of wood up? And I had come up with a brilliant suggestion to fix this problem. This has to be a triple mando. Think of the gate that they have to go through. I forget the whole number off the top of my head. Triple mando. Okay. And then you've got these planks that are horizontal, that are about 6 inches apart. Okay. You have to make it through one of those slots inside the triple mando. There is no drop zone. And if you hit the wall, it's OB. Okay. So the distance between the T-pad and this triple mando, completely, totally OB. No drop zone, re-T. I said on Twitter, you put me in charge of this, the gimmicks will be gone within a year because it will be so bad, no one will want to play. I just, why? Just why? That's all I have to ask. Why? I don't understand. I'm sure there'll be more that we'll talk about later, but we can't, I just can't right now. I can't. I'm sorry. I really do. I'm sorry. Moving into our last topic, which is an unfortunate topic. Kona Montgomery announced on Instagram that she has thyroid cancer. Papillary thyroid carcinoma is what she's been officially diagnosed with. So your thyroid, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of in your throat, kind of around, gentlemen, your Adam's apple. So right there, butterfly-shaped gland surrounded by 2 little dots, or 4 little dots, I guess, on 2 little dots on either side, 4 total. Call your parathyroid. Those 2 glands are responsible for a lot of regulatory hormones, things that keep you being able to do what you do, including your metabolism, heart rate, muscle and digestive function, and bone maintenance. So whether you realize it or not, I believe off the top of my head, it's every 7 years, your bones are brand new, essentially. So they slowly over time, you can think of it as just going from my elbow down to my wrist. That bone slowly, these little osteoblasts and osteoclasts come in, pull out the bone, old stuff, disintegrate it basically, and put down new stuff right behind it. Kind of basically the best and fastest road paving you've ever seen in your life. That helps control that. One of the good things about this is one of the most curable forms of thyroid cancer with, according to what I found, has over a 90% 10-year survival rate. Obviously, with Kona being a young, fit woman who is in great shape, being a professional athlete, those things only are better for your survival rate. So, generally speaking, those of you who are in shape and better condition, when you get sick, you come out of it faster, and it's just better for you overall. Unfortunately, for the rest of her life, she will have to be taking a thyroid hormone supplement. It's a concoction of a whole bunch of different hormones that your body makes regularly to, as I said, regulate metabolism, heart rate, and all that fun stuff. She has her pre-surgical consult scheduled. Surgery is supposed to be happening here in the next couple weeks, and we're praying for a positive outcome, that they get all of this, that the cancer is not spread. They believe that they caught it fast enough where it hasn't spread to any other part of her body, which is fantastic news. This is, generally speaking, this is a positive thing. They have figured out, she's been trying to figure out dealing with sickness for the better part of the year, trying to figure out what's going on. She finally has an answer. Unfortunately, it's cancer, but fortunately, it's probably the most curable form she could have gotten. It is still terrifying. It's still scary. I get that. It is very, very scary. I've had a friend die of cancer, so I get it. It sucks. It's terrifying, but the good news is the disc golf community seems to be rallying around her and just helping. So I'm sure she'll keep us updated on Instagram, but go ahead and shoot over to her Instagram. Look up Kona Kona Montgomery. Wow. There's a slip of the tongue. And, send her positive thoughts. Say some prayers for her. We're uncertain of how this could affect her disc golf career. Theoretically, shouldn't be a big deal. Once she gets her meds figured out, gets everything good, goes through radiation, all that fun jazz. But we don't know. So hopefully everything goes well for her. So as this is a pre-recorded episode, there are no other further questions. There are no comments, concerns, and screams of pain from you lovely people down in the live chat, because there is no live chat. But I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. You can always find me on Instagram, Twitter, X. Find me on x.com. Find me on Reddit, joesdiscgolf.com. And on YouTube, you can listen to the podcast version. If you're sick of looking at this ugly mug, you can find the audio version of this wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, I've been Joe, you've been awesome, and I can't wait to see you all on the next podcast.